Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Jem and the Holograms? Yes, hello. Here we are. The Can We Talk About podcast. We are Can We Talking this week about the same thing we have talked about for 45 times previous. Now, Kristen, this may be the 44th episode of Jem. Oh, 44 is how I put it in my notes, because I originally wrote 43rd because I got my numbers mixed up, so I didn't bother to fix 44th episode of Jem here. But we also had the movie and the Cumtacular, so chalk this up as number 46 of the Neon Nightmare, the pastel phantasm, that oh so frighteningly fashionable 80s cartoon, air quotes classic, Jem and the Holograms. I'm the sheriff around these parts. My name is Joe.
I'm taking a train. My name is Kristen.
You don't say.
Oh, it's already killing me.
And we are experiencing Jem and the Holograms via Shout Factory's Jem and the Holograms Truly Outrageous Complete Series box set, as well as The Wonderful World of Netflix. Kristen, I'll go first here. I'm still watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine. What do you got for Netflix, Kristen?
I don't have anything for Netflix, but I would like to tell you a little bit about my 5-hour Dungeon World campaign last night.
Please.
So me and my friends started playing D&D over the summer. We switched over to a different game structure of a game called Dungeon World, which allows for you a little bit more flexibility. So we're doing bullshit fantasy The Hunger Games.
Okay.
And basically, it's Dungeons and Dragons style classes and races and things like that, and then the basic structure of the Hunger Games universe. So we keep things like, there are the Hunger Games, and the government sucks. Mm-hmm. So last night, my 16-year-old wizard girl happened to pick up a gun while we were infiltrating a complex in the Capitol to try and save someone. We're too late, saw that person get killed, and in retaliation, I was like, well, my character is chaotic. I'm pretty sure she tries to shoot the president in the head. And then I rolled perfectly, and I one-shotted the main villain of our campaign.
What? Hey, there you go. So, Kristen, this reminds me a lot of something. I'm wondering, infiltrating the White House. Did that happen last week in Jem, possibly?
Only Jem didn't kill the president in the end. Though I guess Kimber would be a better conduit for my Dungeon World character than Jem.
So if they were going to save Stormer, and Stormer gets killed by the president, Kimber's going to shoot him?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like the Cutie Honey movie. Ricochet the bullet off of your Stormer's necklace. We made that reference then, too.
This week, our foray into Jem takes us to an interesting place. A place we arrive via train, which, from my experience, Kristen, is not the normal preferred tour of a band, especially a new wave 80s girl band.
There are a lot of logic leaps in this episode.
This is Rock and Roll Express, an episode that is mostly about a train. As we said, it's about taking a train.
We'll get back to it.
And the American Southwest, which doesn't really dip its toe too far into stereotype stuff, but there is a Wild West sheriff, and the Holograms do wear some very, very, very appropriated Native American-style clothing.
Yeah, they have rock and roll Navajo outfits. Which is embarrassing to look at.
It's good to know Jem and Company don't have to leave the country to dress up in culture costumes.
Oh, good.
And what's that? I believe I hear a whistle blowing, so all aboard for Jem.
Woot woot.
We start off, Kristen, this episode was written by Steve Mitchell and Barbara Petty, two people without many writing credits on their IMDb pages. This is the only episode of Jem that they wrote for. They often collaborated on a lot of other Hasbro shows.
Are they noted train lovers?
I don't know, actually. That's a very good question. Barbara Petty only has credits for Hasbro shows in her IMDb, most of which were written with Steve Mitchell. Steve Mitchell, the only other thing of note I have is he was a writer on a B-horror movie called Chopping Mall, which I had the pleasure to see some of on Red Letter Media's Best of the Worst. It's about a mall patrolled by killer robots that go haywire when lightning strikes the mall, because that's how lightning works in movies, because it can do anything.
Of course.
So we start with a train. A train. California's famous train.
Of course.
Jem is being asked if this is their first tour by train. Kristen,
I'm sure it is, because we would have heard if it wasn't.
I looked into this a little bit, about, a band touring by train. So...
Is that as stupid as it sounds?
The problem that happens here, when I search band, train, tour, I get touring by the band Train.
You get drops of Jupiter in your hair.
Lindsay later calls it a whistle-stop tour, which is the term that I used after this, and the Wikipedia page for whistle-stop tour is something that it was only used in, like, political campaigns in the 1950s or something.
What the fuck, Jem?
So I don't know if I'm searching for the wrong thing, but Jem and the Holograms are doing something that politicians from the 1950s or earlier, because fucking trains, did.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, for those of you who may not have watched the episode already, this sounds stupid already. It's so much dumber than you could ever imagine. Because, Joe, level with me here. When you heard tour by a train, did you think, oh, they're going to take the train from town to town and do a concert at an appropriate venue in that town?
Right. No.
No. Why would they do that? They have a stage that they set up on the back of the train. They do a train concert.
For like 12 people later.
With drops of Jupiter in their hair.
All the Holograms are wearing some very fringe-heavy get-ups, and Jem has a belt buckle with a big cursive J on it, so you could tell, I guess they're in cowboy land here.
And we only get them in one state, basically, this entire episode. A squiggle map later shown on the Lindsay Pierce show clearly shows the wiggly train route going all the way up to Pennsylvania into, I think, New York.
So those fringe outfits that they have there aren't going to be too popular in Pennsylvania or New York.
Nah, they're going to get here and everyone's going to be like, what?
And they'll be dressed as coal miners.
Yep, there we go. We never get that episode.
You did write a song about it, though.
Only in my dreams.
Jem says that the train tour is going to help them get to all of their smaller town fans, and from the two places that they play concerts in this episode, in fucking Rock Canyon, Arizona, and like Mesaville, New Mexico or something.
Something like that.
That's a pretty small town, it sounds like.
Yeah, it turns out that Jem has a lot of rural fans, which is confusing because based on the state of these towns, I'm surprised they have televisions.
There should be gunfights out in the fucking middle of the street. It should be high noon. Gary Cooper should be rounding some people up to fight the bandits.
And then it's Shanghai noon and Lucy Liu is there.
There's a reporter, voiced by Shayna, who says that all the proceeds are going to go directly into Jerica's pocket. I mean the Starlight Foundation. I mean directly into Jerica's pocket.
They're always saying, like, oh, it's for the Starlight Foundation. That means it's charity. No, it means you get to continue taking care of these orphans without the money coming out of your own pocket.
And because of that, it means that the orphans are gonna be roadies, which we see Chrissy and Blender here.
Bonnie is hanging out in the background of a shot later.
Is she? Oh, that's weird.
She is so far away she doesn't really have a face.
From the look of it, Ashley's the only roadie, actually, and the rest of the orphans just get to ride the train.
Yeah, they're just fucking off, doing whatever. For some reason, Ashley has to be punished.
So the Holograms all pose for a photo together and say, "America, here we come."
Cool.
We fade to the train leaving. The Holograms all wave goodbye to their fans gathered.
This happens about 5 separate times in this episode.
Of people waving from a train.
Yeah, and everyone going, good luck, Jem, bye!
Rio arrives at this point with Ashley. Jem is glad Rio is coming along, and I noted at this point the instrumentation from I'm OK is playing in the background.
Take a train.
On a train!
On a train!
Rio wouldn't miss this for the world, he says. And I said poor Jerica having to be somewhere not on this train, but Jerica is on this train later. So Kristen, I made this point later in my notes, but... So, we had Island of Deception where we questioned how Jerica was going to make it so on a boat, how she was going to hide that she is Jerica and Jem. Kristen, a train is a bit smaller than a boat.
It's a lot smaller than a big-ass boat. Everything goes great, so I guess it doesn't matter.
So it doesn't matter, you're right. And my other question being, does LA have a normal train station? Because as they're leaving, we see a big city buildings and palm trees and shit in the background. And this train station, this is a fucking steam-ass steam train. This isn't even like an electric train or anything like that.
Yeah, it has a section that appears to be carrying coal, which I don't think they would do on a train that people are riding on.
That is carrying anything other than cargo.
Yeah, so, whatever.
It's not the fucking 1800s anymore.
This is one of those things where if someone said to me, hey, Kristen, draw a train, I would probably put a thing carrying coal on it. I would imagine like a Christmas tree train.
So we have here now, Kristen, song number 1 of the evening, which we will be playing for you right now, and see if you can last the full 50 seconds of the song, because it feels like it's 25 hours long. It is I'm Taking a Train.
If you're susceptible to hypnosis, don't listen to this. Fast forward.
I'm taking a train and I'm coming to see you. Taking a train and I'm traveling far. Taking a train, whatever the distance may be. It's not too much for me. I'm taking a train, taking a train, taking a train. Taking a train, taking a train, taking a train. I'm taking a train and I'm hoping you'll meet me. Taking a train and I'm coming to town. Taking a train, if you are there when I arrive, my heart will come alive. I'm taking a train, taking a train, taking a train. Taking a train, taking a train, taking a train. Taking a train, taking a train, taking a train. Taking a train, taking a train, taking a train. Taking a train.
So, Kristen, that was I'm Taking a Train, I'm Taking a Train, Taking a Train, Taking a Train, Taking a Train, Taking a Train.
This is the worst song ever.
Kristen, I had a feeling you were going to say that, and it is not worse than Star Spangled Fantasy, I will tell you. It is not a great song, but it has the same kind of appeal to me as I'm Coming From Behind did, where it's so bad it turns right back around. It's like Welcome to the Jungle for you and Jack Take a Hike, where it turns right back around and I'm laughing at the song because 99% of the lyrics, as you just heard there, is I'm taking a train.
Taking a train. Taking a train. Taking a train. Taking a train.
Taking a train.
It is one of those things where, like, when you emphasize a different word, it has different meaning. I'm taking a train. I'm taking a train. I'm taking a train. I'm taking a train.
Jem's just she's working on her enunciations.
She needs help. I'm very taking a train.
Just sends out in Morse code, SOS, SOS, I'm taking a train.
Help.
So, yeah, this song is stupid, and I don't think we need to talk about the lyrics because they're all just I'm taking a train. The imagery of the song is just the train, and things of, like, common people fishing and waving to the train and going, good luck, Jem, good luck on your concert. And there's a certain point that happens where Rio is, like, under a streetlight with flowers, and he doesn't even wear, like, a suit or anything. He's his usual fucking yellow-ass shirt frumpy self.
Looking good, Rio. So Jem goes out to meet him, and they kiss. And us watching this episode right before we went to go see the Jem movie last year is what started our obsession with Jem songs that over-explain things.
There's a special orphan car where all the orphans are out waving as well. Lots of train and rural America images, I guess, and that's pretty much... The song ends here with, Kristen, the thing that you explained earlier, where a Jem and Company are performing their concert on a platform that is built from the caboose of the train, basically.
Yeah, in the middle of a train track.
To a roaring crowd of like 20 people.
Rural America! We
cut to Lindsay reporting the concert, giving the information directly to the Misfits, as she is wont to do, because this is Lindsay's role at this point, Kristen. She is...
Let me tell everyone about Jem and the holograms.
She is exposition liaison for the Misfits, indirectly.
It's like, she has to know what she's doing, right?
Pizzazz goes, I think it's time Jem and the hologram share some of the glory with the Misfits. And Pizzazz, okay, they're not in LA. They're gonna be taking this big stupid train concert tour thing. Throw a concert in LA! Throw a concert in one of the towns before they get there.
Pizzazz gets this amazing idea that, Jem and the holograms are doing a train. Let's do a train! Or something.
And then Stormer hears it wrong and goes, plane?
And she makes the booking without double checking.
Lindsay exposits that Jem and Company will next be in Rock Canyon, Arizona for their next stop, and we cut to Rock Canyon where we see the sheriff, it's a fucking Wild West sheriff. He's got a fucking tin star and everything. He's got a cowboy hat. And he's letting this criminal man out here who's got a shitty-looking mustache, and he goes, I don't want to see you in Rock Canyon, Arizona ever again.
And he's like, my name is H.I. McDonough.
Damn it.
Ah.
Gotta go back for the Huggies.
I got bird hair. Anyway, I don't remember a lot of Raising Arizona.
The criminal man here, H.I. McDonough, walks out, and he's just like, yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna leave Rock Canyon. That's okay. And then he sees the banner of, like, the banner of Rock Canyon, Arizona, the Gem and the Holograms aren't going to see if they aren't going to leave the train station, says, "Welcome, Gem and the Holograms," and his reaction is, "Gem and the what?"
Gem and the what? I've never heard this word before. I've been in jail my whole life.
We horizontal wipe to the Rock Canyon station. Criminal Man is here. He is asking around, "Hey, what's all the hubbub going on here with the people waiting for the train?"
They're doing a concert for charity.
Oh, charity. That's interesting. Are they going to be collecting money?
For charity? Yeah, that's how it works.
We're gonna give all we can. Don't give to the... You're gonna be putting a steak dinner in Bonnie's belly if you give him some money.
They don't know that. It's dramatic irony.
The train arrives. Gem and company are all wearing some pretty clearly Native American-inspired clothing, as I said.
It's Navajo.
At least it's not as bad as the Aztec enchantment headdress.
No. It's close, though.
I don't know if we're gonna get that bad. Then again, we do have the Shangri-La episodes and shit, so... Ooh. As Gem greets the fans, the Criminal Man walks over to the conductor. I wrote it, he's the conductor. I think he's just the guard. Yeah.
Someone.
And he's just like, "Hi there, I'm a native local of Rock Canyon, Arizona. Would you like a coffee, sir? Some drugged coffee that is not drugged."
And the guard's like, "Absolutely!" Drinks it all standing there in one gulp, which, ow. Either that was lukewarm coffee and he was disappointed, or he has a throat made of iron. And he just handed it back, and he was like, "Well, thanks, buddy." And then 2 seconds later, he onto the table.
Well, okay, so yeah, the conductor, I said he fell asleep, but he might have gotten knocked out or something, because we see medical staff arrive after a fade. Rio's talking with somebody on the phone. It doesn't say who, it's just somebody on, because fucking Jerica's on the train. Who is Rio talking? It doesn't matter. Maybe the guard company or something.
Yeah, they take dead guard out on a stretcher with a blanket covering him as though he is dead.
Rio says it was a bad case of food poisoning. You know, Kristen, food poisoning, that makes you sleep and not shit your brains out.
Yep, his butt got so tired he had to fall asleep. Oh, my ass is so tired!
Rio says that they're gonna need a replacement guard right away, and here's Criminal Man eavesdropping on the conversation. The next guard they are going to meet, okay, so it's understandable, I guess, that they can't have a guard here in Rock Canyon, but they just go without a guard from Rock Canyon, Arizona to Mesaville, New Mexico, to their next stop, to where the Criminal Man smiles hearing this, his malevolent gears turning in his head. He probably could have just fucking robbed the train now, without the guard, without going through his big fucking plan that we have here.
Well, High isn't the smartest criminal.
Gem and company leave. Ray is back to speaking in a heavily accented manner, if you didn't notice, Kristen.
I did notice.
As she comments on the surrounding scenery.
So, tell me if this sounds reasonable. Ashley is angry because Jim preached to a crowd that the orphans were going to get to see America, and Ashley is not seeing any of America because she is doing orphan labor for Jim and the Holograms.
How about that, you know? And Rhea, fucking 16-year-old ass Rhea, or whatever, is just like, "Oh, being a roadie is a very important job, Ashley. You know, it's fucking probably not for a 13-year-old girl, Rhea. Come on."
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Ashley.
I did. Look at me. I'm a drummer.
You have to practice a little bit longer before you can take my place.
Then she throws Ashley from the train. It becomes throw Ashley from the train.
Yep.
Oh my god, how did I not write a throw mama from the train joke in my notes until just doing one off the top of my head just now? God damn it.
I don't know.
Damn it, Danny DeVito. You gotta throw mama from the train.
So there's a biplane.
A biplane arrives, yeah. It's carrying a banner that says the Misfits, right?
We see it in the background while Rhea and Ashley are talking.
Which is a great way to introduce it, by the way. It's not just all of a sudden, here's a biplane.
Nope, it's the Misfits circling them like predators and then pouncing.
The plane flies directly towards the train and nearly crashes into it, and we see that the Misfits are in the plane. Now, Kristen, they show that there is a pilot, but from the angle of the Misfits, I thought at this point, Roxy has one hand, all the Misfits are shaking their hands out going, "Ah!" But Roxy has one hand doing that. The other is obscured by the biplane wings or whatever. And I thought Roxy was flying the plane. Kristen, who let Roxy have a pilot's license?
Maybe what happened is this came back first through this, I don't know, animation sample from storyboarding or something like that, and then somebody on the Gem team was like, "Hold on here." None of the Misfits can fly a plane, but Roxy definitely cannot fly a plane. Please draw a pilot.
They drop a bunch of flyers that say Misfits concert tonight with no location on it. Whatever happened to this concert as well? Because at this point...
They just don't do it.
They just don't do it, right. So Rio arrives at this point and is like, that sounded like a plane. What the fuck? I would know because I'm a pilot.
Did I mention that I was a pilot lately? I mean, I didn't in the last episode, so...
Oh, that's a biplane. I could tell because I'm a pilot.
I can hear it with my pilot ears. What the fuck, though? So Jerica shows up also.
The plane flies up at a fucking 90-degree angle, which the video game rule takes effect now, where, Kristen, I don't know if it works this way with normal planes, because I've never flown a plane before, but if you fly upwards at a 90-degree angle, 90% of the time in a video game, your plane's gonna stall.
You would think that the Pilot Man, the cartoon, would know this.
So it starts falling at this point, and here's where, yes, we see the Pilot Man here. He's some different mustache dude. The plane very nearly crashes, but he gets it level right before hitting the ground. One of the wings gets destroyed on the landing, and the landing gear gets fucked and shit, and I wrote, the Misfits look like they're going to be taking a train now, too, but...
Drops of Jupiter in their hair!
Rio is just like, I gotta pull the emergency brake, everybody hold on! So this is the first of 3 times the emergency brake is... attempted to use, 2 of which work, but the emergency brake gets pulled here.
They explain the emergency brake several times so all the kids understand it.
And everyone's alright on the plane. Everybody gets out because, of course, Pizzazz surrounded the plane as it crashed to make sure nobody died or broke any bones or anything.
They survived a helicopter crash. Yeah, they're fine.
The plane is going to take a week to patch up, according to the pilot.
A week? It fell apart!
It's just the landing gear and the fucking... whatever, doesn't matter.
You lost an entire wing! Give me 1 week. Out in the desert. With no supplies.
So Jerica looks at Rio as they walk over like, oh fuck, I know what's coming now. And then Pizzazz getting on her fucking hands and knees basically going, Jerica dear, you wouldn't leave us stranded in the desert, would you? Would you?
And all of the holograms go...
The holograms are forced to be kind human beings and invite the Misfits to take a train.
Come take a train, take a train, take a train. So yeah, Jerica looks at the camera like, why do I have a feeling I'm gonna regret this?
And the very next scene she regrets it because the next scene, the Misfits are brought a change of clothes or something because they're in different outfits than they were in the plane. They were all wearing their fucking Voltron suits, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, now they look like neon punk cowboys.
They're all enjoying the luxuries of train food. Roxy comments that there aren't enough vegetables, so Jetta, for whatever reason, flings mashed potatoes at her face.
And Pizzazz laughs and says it was a great shot, even though they are probably less than 2 feet away from each other at this table. So Roxy throws the mashed potatoes at Pizzazz's face.
And we get a fucking train food fight.
And Stormer is like, let me get in on this!
Stormer has the angriest face I've ever seen her have during this train food fight because this is the only way she can fight. She can't fucking throw fists, so she's got to throw mashed potatoes.
She's like, I've been waiting for this. Let's go. So a waiter is like, girls, please. This is a train.
I wrote Charlie Adler train waiter, but I'm not certain if it is Charlie Adler. I'm going to assume it is because usually it
Might
is.
as well be.
Rio comes in at this point screaming for the Misfits to knock it off. Like he's got the fucking thunder of God in him as he walks out here. Just like bellowing for them to stop. And this makes the Misfits run away from him.
Rio acts real righteous in this episode.
They run into the observation car, and Rio locks them in there.
Which isn't a cool thing to do.
Not really, no. I mean, they did just eat, but...
Jetta... Okay, this is going to be interesting. Jetta calls Rio a yank bully!
Calls him a yank bully, yes. And it's fun to be scared's instrumentation is playing in the background during this part, too,
it's
which
fun
doesn't
to beat
help.
Trains. Yeah, it's fun to beat trains.
Train! Roxy and Pizzazz seem fine with it because the observation car is pretty neat. It's like, I mean, it looks like a greenhouse, which might be bad if it's a fucking closed car.
Might get a
like
little
if
bit hot.
they can't open a window.
Jetta says it's fine if you fancy cages. That was a little bit New Orleans.
You turned Cajun there for a second, speaking of.
The word cages did it to me. I'll get it right next time. There's a lot of Jetta in this episode.
Jetta then notices a hatch on the top of the car and is like, well, maybe we're not trapped. So Jetta gets the bright idea.
A lot of people get this bright idea.
While the train is in full motion, it's a good idea to get on top of the cars to get back to where they could wait like 10 minutes maybe. Or, wait until it's time to leave. Jetta's just like, I'm trapped! I need to leave!
I can't stay in this cage!
It's a wonder nobody gets fucking mangled in this episode, Kristen, because trains killed a lot of people.
Yeah! I'm not surprised by that at all. Stormer does go, you sure?
You sure about that?
You sure? And everyone is sure, yes, so all of them end up on top of the train standing.
I would think, yes, they would at least try to be, like, crawling or something. They're having a bit of a tough time maneuvering, too, because I think they're all, like, stepping on each other's feet. Mm-hmm. Stormer sees a tunnel coming up and goes, "Look out!" As this is, like, the 5th time Stormer's done that, too.
Yeah, I guess they really like Susan Blue's yelly voice because she's usually the most panicked, and then all of the Misfits scream together. It looks like you would think they were going to duck as they go through the tunnel, but instead, as segment 2 starts, the Misfits jump off of a train.
They jump off of a train into a nearby body of water, keeping all of their momentum, of course, but they hit water, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, water that they don't know how shallow it is.
The Misfits call it the train when it's already gone into the tunnel, and Stormer, ever the realist, goes, "They can't hear us."
It's a train, guys. It's really loud.
Roxy blames Jetta, who is the one at fault here, by the way, because she's the one who started the food fight, and she's the one who said they should get on top of the train.
It's entirely her fault. Pizzazz tells them to shut up and quit fighting, because she climbs over some rocks and sees some people who got horses. You know, like in Arizona.
On horses, just, yeah, in the desert.
Right near a train track.
Pizzazz walks out in front of one of the horses here, and strikes a pose and goes, "Hi there," which, apparently, this dude did not notice...
Is she trying to seduce the horse?
This dude on the horse did not notice the fucking devil presence of this blonde, green-haired woman wearing construction site orange clothing.
He's like, "Where'd you come from?"
A train.
A what?
Pizzazz asks if they can help the Misfits get back to the train, and the guy isn't really sure, so Pizzazz and the Misfits, once again, for like the 2nd episode in a row, are the Misfits just not as famous as they think they are, Kristen?
I'm pretty sure they're pretty friggin' famous.
Pizzazz basically pulls the "We're famous" card, and the rest of the Misfits go, "Ta-da!"
It's us, the Misfits!
And then one guy's just like, "I thought Glenn Danzig was in your band. Aren't you like a fucking underground thing? What, like, the Misfits, what?"
Ooh. Like, never mind!
And then they pull out the "We're stranded in the desert, you have to help us" card for the 2nd time of this episode.
And then Stormer is like, "This is the desert. It takes a lot to survive in the desert."
Leading us right into, awkwardly, song 2 of the evening. It Takes a Lot, which is the same joke I made when this showed up in Island of Deception. Now, It Takes a Lot is a very good song.
Yes, it is.
In this context, with the imagery, it sucks.
I liked the jungle one more.
I liked the jungle one more too, especially since it says it's a jungle out there in the song. And for some reason, we move into... Okay, so let me just run through what's going on in the song here.
Tell me.
It starts with what I can only assume is a desert volcano.
Yeah.
Because we see... And then we move immediately into some sort of jungle or forest area where Stormer and the dude on the horse with Stormer get attacked by a cougar?
Okay.
Like a mountain lion, maybe?
Alright.
But I'm just curious, because there's a lot of grass and trees all of a sudden near this desert.
I'm not sure this is the desert anymore.
And the size of the cougar ends up basically going down to, like, house cat size or, like, small dog size.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. Where, I don't know if that's an animation error or what, but it also gets caught in a net where it ends up being, like, mountain cat size by these... These people have a fucking net. What are these people doing? Because they've got a net.
They eat it afterwards, I assume.
We have them riding across a desert again, and there's a snake that scares a horse. Kristen, I don't know if horses are scared of snake.
I don't either. They are scared of rock, though.
Snakes are scared of rocks, not horses.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Well, horses might be, too. If snakes scare horse and rocks scare snake, naturally, 7, 8, 9.
Naturally, horse scares rock, and we have our rock, paper, scissors.
There we go. Horse, snake, rock, shoot.
So, the one dude on the horse with Pizzazz gets off the horse and grabs a boulder, basically a boulder, a very large rock, and throws it at the snake.
And the snake is like, well, fuck this, and slithers out of there, and then it's gone, I guess, and not angry that someone just tried to boulder murder it.
Because you can't crush a snake on a children's television show.
No, you cannot.
What a very weird sequence. That's all the imagery of the song, by the way, just those two things, the cougar attack and the snake confrontation.
And the desert volcano.
And the desert volcano,
and a perilous journey through the vague desert.
So the Misfits arrive, we fade back to the train here. I wrote, isn't Evil Mustache Guy supposed to be in this episode? Because it's been about 6 or 7 minutes since we've seen him. And he shows back up, but he is in the episode, and then he drops out of the episode for a good amount of it.
He shows up so infrequently that every single time I was like, is that guy?
The Misfits arrive on their horses. Rhea pulls the emergency brake without even warning anyone, so everybody fucking falls over, probably.
Why is Rhea doing so much in this episode when I'm pretty sure both Shayna and Aja don't say anything?
You're right, I don't think they do. Huh.
Kimber talks once or twice, but that's it.
The guy on the horse is like, aren't you gonna give us your autographs, Misfits? And Pizzazz says, yeah, right, our office. Wow.
They didn't know who they were anyway, I don't blame them. They wanted autographs to sell them on the internet if they had that.
They can't, Kristen, you'd think they'd be bothered to sign fucking something for them. It's the Misfits, I understand. Okay, whatever. The Misfits we aren't gonna show the Misfits signing autographs, please.
Nah.
Rhea asks what the hell happened to the Misfits, and Pizzazz goes, it's a long and dusty story, as they all brush the dust off of themselves, which is used as a transition for the train arriving in Masaville Station.
Gem, train, hey, soul, sister!
And then train frontman comes out and is just like, who's Gem? What? That Welsh singer?
I'm not sure. Are you sure you don't mean Jewel?
Mustache Man is here. Here he's back in the episode. And as he's back in the episode of the Drops of Jupiter...
I was going to stop making that joke.
He's dressed as a security man here. And he shakes hands with Rio. It's like, Mr. Pacheco, I presume. I'm the guard.
And he apparently gave coffee to the other guard, we find out later. He gives him the best soy latte that you ever had.
Rio says he was getting nervous with all of the loose cash on the train, so there we go.
I couldn't eat all of it and keep it safe in my stomach.
This train is fucking begging to be heisted. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, and the criminal knows it.
And Mustache Criminal understands this and goes, I'll take real good care of the cash. Real good care of it, as it slowly zooms in on him and there's like an ominous tone playing.
I'm not evil. I just sound evil.
We fade to Ashley, who is in the compartment with all of the fucking instruments and shit.
And Rio comes in like, hey, intern!
Time to roadie, let's go!
And Ashley's like, fuck you, and leaves.
Yeah, she shoves off at this point, and the Misfits go into the band room once the coast is clear. They do things like detune Aj's guitar and like pull one of the, like snap one of the strings on it, and make it so the mic will, like, fucking explode when Gem touches it somehow.
Yeah, just unscrewing parts of it. Pizzazz sticks together Kimber's keyboard with gum.
Yeah, she puts gum on Kimber's keyboard, Jesus Christ.
Stormer is like, Gem's been kind of nice to us. Should we be doing this?
And Pizzazz accuses her of going soft, which is the classic move that quiets Stormer down, still in her old trappings. Damn it, Stormer, you should stand up for yourself and fucking food fight.
You're too good for this, Stormer.
The Misfits all run out as Rio comes back in, and Rio is just like, oh, where did Ashley go? I guess I'll have to set everything up myself.
Do it yourself, she's a kid.
So we cut to Gem and company, ready to perform. As soon as Gem picks up the mic, it falls apart, which, Kristen, the moral of the story is then, Rio's not a very good roadie either, because...
You think you would have noticed everything was fucked up.
But he didn't.
Maybe not, like, Rhea's drumsticks or anything, but Aja's guitar had a snapped string on it.
And there's gum on Kimber's keyboard.
He didn't have to do the roadie test things out, sibilance.
Gem says that they're going to have to postpone the concert to the disappointment of the crowd, and as they all run back in, Gem is blushing as she goes, I'm so embarrassed.
And then Rio, detective extraordinaire, even though the Misfits are also on this train, goes, this was Ashley. She did it out of spite, because she didn't want to work.
Motherfucker, what? What? Fucking what?
Even Gem is like, what? Ashley would not destroy our instruments.
So Rio basically, when confronted with Gem being like, why would Ashley do this, is just like, I left the iron on, so I don't have to continue this argument.
So he grumbles something about hoping that there is a music store in this goddamn backwater town.
This place that isn't LA, fuck off.
He needs to find some funky looking instruments and luckily succeeds.
Gem says that she should probably...
Well, no. I guess he only needs to find a new microphone and strings. And drumsticks, which he probably finds just fine.
Gem says that she should probably find Ashley before Rio does, and Kimber, still in good spirits, is just like, I'll tell the crowd to hold their horses.
Get it!
Good joke, good joke.
Because they're not city people.
Gem turns back into Jerica in the caboose train car directly in front of the window, so fuck it.
Good.
We cut to Rio tuning a guitar. Jerica arrives with Ashley, and Rio is immediately just kind of shitting on her still, thinking she still broke the instruments, because, fuck.
I'm surprised Ashley doesn't defend herself angrily, but Jerica's like, it wasn't fucking Ashley. No one says. Maybe it was the Misfits.
Jerica says that, yeah, Ashley had nothing to do with it, but now she knows how important her job is, which I guess is a fine lesson to learn. If Rio wasn't such a shit-ass about it, I'd be like, yeah, you learned that lesson, Ashley.
If he wasn't seconds away from wringing Ashley's neck. For no reason.
And yes, I have the note here, why is Rio blaming Ashley when the fucking Misfits are aboard this train?
Whatever. So the Misfits hear that the instruments got fixed, and they were like, man, that should have worked.
We had such a good plan and everything. Fuck. What are we gonna do now?
These goddamn Gem of the Holograms fans are so patient they don't mind being told, wait while we fix our instruments. I've never been to a concert that has started late, and I cannot imagine how fucking irritated I would be if I were at one.
Kristen, why did the Misfits take the time to try and, like, usurp the concert when Gem and the Holograms couldn't perform?
That's a great question.
They don't have their instruments, but they
don't need them.
They did get a change of clothing, so maybe, I don't know, fuck it. So Pizzazz and company, as they're basically running away from the train car, from the caboose at this point, I don't know why, they notice the engineer and his friend, they say the engineer and some other dude, and you can tell he's the engineer because he's got the fucking stripy hat on.
I got the hat!
They're going to get some coffee. What luck! They can still ruin this concert yet.
So they run into the engineer car, whatever that's called.
The cab? I don't know.
The cabin.
The cockpit.
The cockpit, that's it. And just start fucking with things.
Well, we see Mustache Man, Hi McDonough over here, is unlocking the box with all the cash in it so he could buy the Huggies, and the Misfits, yes, get in the front cab with the engine and shit here. And they see the engineer is already coming back. Roxy's having trouble with the brakes, trying to get the brakes to not be braking. So Stormer gives her a hand, and they manage to pull it back. Now, Kristen, the driving force of the rest of the episode at this point is basically, maybe not the driving force, but one of the big things about the rest of the episode is Jetta's got her foot caught between some levers, and I don't know how it happened.
She just stepped there and didn't realize it was stuck until she tried to move, I guess.
The train starts rolling away. Rio is standing on the stage built for the holograms, which immediately collapses as well.
It's hilarious. He tumbles on down like, ah!
All the holograms are knocked on their asses as well, and here's where, yes, we find that Jetta's foot somehow got stuck between the levers here.
Zut alors!
Stormer looks out the window to see that the train should be slowing down due to a steep grade, and goes, Pizzazz, we're on a runaway train! So both segments of this episode ended with Susan Blue yelling something.
Stormer, way to state the obvious.
Also, considering how much time it takes for them to stop the train, I guess the steep grade didn't much matter.
That sign was a very early warning.
I've played Train Simulator, Kristen. They tell you pretty quickly, hey, you gotta slow down.
It doesn't matter. These are well-built American trains.
We are on a disaster train. End of segment 2.
So segment 3 starts, and the Misfits are still like,
Mustache Man seems to not have noticed that the train is moving as he tries to, or he doesn't say anything. He just kind of, grabs the box with the cash in it and, looks outside. He doesn't even comment the train's moving. It's just well, better get to the front of the train.
So he heads on that way. There are some people helping Rio up because the entire stage is, broken into pieces, and he probably has, a big splinter in his fucking head. And they're like, holy shit, are you okay? And he's like, I'm okay, but that train is Runaway.
So he notices that there's just a dirt bike, classic sort of video game. Here's a vehicle just out in the middle of. So he gets on the dirt bike without asking. He just procures it and
this is mine now.
Starts going off without a helmet too. So
who cares?
Driving on the train tracks, that might be dangerous.
H.I. McDonough gets to where the Misfits are and somehow gets jostled enough that his head snaps the line for the emergency brake.
He doesn't get electrocuted or anything either, so I'm assuming that it must be even then the box is metal, so something happens to where, something just snaps the line for the emergency brake as he, jumps down, which I don't know why it's attached to the car with all the fucking coal on it.
Whatever. So as he gets in there and he sees that there are bad things happening, he does say to the Misfits, do you need any help?
And Jetta's just hey, so, foot's still stuck here. Got a bit of a problem with that, and it might be swollen. Oh, no!
Big feet. Rock stars can't have big feet.
Roxy goes, just yank it out.
I'll yank you out. It's getting harder with the short phrases.
We'll yank you out.
No, stop.
Mustache-Man manages to get her foot out of her boot, and then the boot from the levers, and he's just all right, cool, so the train's gonna stop now, right? Because I have no idea how a train works. I'm a guard. Don't mind that I'm carrying this box of loose cash.
I'm surprised the Misfits don't notice, but so he goes to the brake lever, tries to pull that, and in classic cartoon fashion, it snaps, of course.
There's a lot of things... well-made American train with a lot of shit snapping on it.
Just breaking so much. It is worth noting it takes a while for anything else to happen in this, like, conductor car. So after the thing breaks, they all just kind of stand there like,
Well, this is it. They don't even try to, like, jump out to tuck and roll or anything, but, you know.
No, they literally just hang out and don't move from their positions. Not great pacing.
Rio catches up with the runaway train from the dirt bike. What an action man he is, Kristen. This is the most, like...
Fuck whoever owned that bike.
This is the most, like... Yeah, because it definitely spins out and crashes and fucking explodes, probably, in classic, like, tokusatsu fashion.
Uh-huh.
But this is the most, like, action-y stuff that Rio has done. This is the most, like, Rio, again, Rio should just be, like, a normal dude. Like, he's not a member of G.I. Joe.
This is the closest he's gotten to, grabbing Jem from the Rockin' Roadster in the opening video. Like, when the fuck was he supposed to do that?
He stumbles into the last cabin here with the holograms, and he says to pull the emergency brake, which, of course...
No one bothered to try this before Rio got there, and he was like, I have a suggestion! Ugh.
Emergency brake!
Shayna does get a line here, because she tries it, and she's like, yo, this shit is not working.
So Shayna gets her lines in as her one line in here, and her line as the reporter from earlier.
And nothing for Aja.
In classic Aja fashion, of course. So... Rio says at this point, because the emergency brake doesn't work, the only hope is to get to the engine, or, as I just said, tuck and roll off the train, because, here we go, Kristen, a little wisdom for you. A broken arm is better than a broken life.
That's beautiful.
Confucius. I think I read it on a Snapple can.
Nice.
Back at Mesaville Station, the sheriff arrives, who I think might be the same sheriff from Rock Canyon for some reason.
Who knows?
I can't tell, but he's just like, hey, how are things going at the train station here? I'm the sheriff.
Chit-chat. Southern chit-chat.
And there's some, like, knocking on a broom closet door, which is, like, 3 feet away from them.
And they're like, the fuck is that? So they scoot over, open the door, and a man in his undies pops out. In Metal Gear Solid style, someone took my clothes undies. And he's like, I got the best soy latte that I ever had. And it food poisoned me. There's a train thief on the train.
Wow, he is in bad shape. You should get him to the hospital.
It's hard for words to form. So naked. So sleepy. My ass is exploding.
And then they learn that not only is there a thief on the train, but the engineer comes back in. It's out of... The engineer took the time to get the coffee, I'm assuming, and it's just like, well, the train started going. Should probably do something about that. But I do want this coffee.
I'll finish this, and then I'll go tell them. I know exactly how long it takes to get to the next town, so it's fine.
Ooh, it's hot. It's gonna, like, let me blow it. I'm blowing it a bit there. It's gonna be a long cup of coffee.
I can't enjoy this if it's too hot.
Back to the train. The baggage cart is locked, so Rio says they need to get on top of the cars, and again, Jem and everybody else are basically like, it's too dangerous, and Rio... man of men goes, it's the only way.
This is teaching kids bad lessons. That's my opinion.
That no matter what, you gotta be a man. You gotta do what it takes for the situation, and you're not gonna let the train crash or let anybody die, because you're a man.
Do the dangerous thing. So there's some, like, helpful ladder things, and as Rio gets to the ladder thing on top of the train car, the first one immediately snaps when Rio grabs it. Fucking goddamn it.
And then Rio falls off the train and gets mangled by the fucking wheels in classic train fashion.
It turns into Bacano. He gets grabbed by the rail tracer.
So, oh my god, how do we not make any Bacano jokes this entire time? Jesus Christ.
Now would be a good time for it.
There's so much train-based media.
Train robbery. Nobody move. Get on the ground. Put your hands up. Which one do we do?
Make your trains better, America. That's all I gotta say about this fucking spoke breaking immediately.
And Rio's like, I'm fine, I'll do it again.
He climbs back up and starts running and jumping between train cars.
Like, they have, like, those same, like, ladder rungs across the top of the thing, so you could theoretically go on your stomach.
Nope.
You know, with less air resistance, wind resistance, whatever one.
Nope.
Instead of standing up like a big billowy kite. A meat kite with a yellow shirt on.
With purple hair.
Just flying.
So Rio gets to the front of the engine car without any kind of incident, all by himself, and is basically just like, what happened here? Why didn't anybody try the brakes? And yet everybody's just been kind of standing around.
They sound so bored.
And it's like, oh, you're here. Can you help us out, maybe?
I tried to stop the train, but the brake is broke. The brake broke. Broke.
we broke the brake here, and Rio walks over to the brake thing and, like, flips the panel up on it so he can get a better grip on the broken handle, and Rio, all by himself, stops this train with the brake.
And even says, like, no, I gotta feather it, because we can't just stop all at once or we'll derail. Like,
What?
We don't care about your dumb train knowledge, Rio. Just stop the fucking train.
I'm a conductor, too, as well as a pilot. Did you know I'm a pilot?
Oh, it happened just today. I was gonna surprise Jim. This is my train. I just put down the last payment on it, and it sucks. It's the worst train ever. Everything's broken.
The train stops in front of a cheering crowd. It's a good thing nobody was near the tracks, because then they could have fucking derailed. Oh, wait a minute. They were all standing right there like idiots.
Yay, Jim. The other town didn't get their concert.
Mustache-Man thanks Rio and goes, oh, I better get the charity money back in the safe for some reason. For some reason, he tips Rio off here to his evil machinations.
Just in case you didn't notice, I am carrying the money from the safe under my arm.
And Rio goes, why was it taken out of the safe in the first place?
And he's like, I thought it would be safer with me. Anyway, I'm gonna just go out this exit over here, avoid the crowd. Okay, bye.
And he immediately gets cuffed as he steps out. The Mesaville sheriff...
What we didn't see is they tried this before at the back of the train, but accidentally handcuffed Kimber.
I was gonna say... that might be my favorite trope. Just somebody who's not a part of the action here, just immediately cuffing somebody, like, knowing they're the perpetrator somehow.
Mm-hmm. I think I've seen jokes on, I think it was maybe on Parks and Rec, of someone saying something with their back turned to someone entered the room and then being like, how'd you know it was me? And they were like, I tried like 3 times and got the wrong people.
So he's immediately cuffed, and, Maysville Sheriff, as I said, let him know that there was a train robber dressed as a guard. Rio says he'll take the money back where it belongs, to Jerica's pocket, and...
in his own mouth. Put it in my belly, eat some salad.
And Jem runs over to thank Rio to see that he's all right. Kimber's just like, Misfits, what are you doing up in the cab? And Stormer goes, it was supposed to be a prank, bro!
And the Misfits are like, Stormer, seriously? And Stormer keeps, in her guilt-addled state, Stormer is like, we just wanted to wreck your concert. We didn't mean to almost derail the whole train.
So yes, now the Misfits must make penance for their sins. And Kristen, what do you think their punishment will be for nearly derailing a train and killing everyone?
Going to jail?
Orphan labor.
Oh, good.
So my question is, Kristen, what did Ashley have to do to earn the dishonor of having to do orphan labor?
She narked on Bobby Braddock. Jerica don't deal with snitches.
They get stitches.
Where do you think Laura went?
Anyway, back to Jem. They have a song about this great country, which I was going to be like, this better not be Freedom, because I don't want to listen to Freedom again.
I thought that too. Instead, it's a song called All Across the Country, which I guess we're going to play.
We're going to play this as well, because I'm Taking a Train is barely a song, so this automatically wins because we've already played It Takes a Lot.
There we go.
Great country of ours. All across this country, all across this land. Across this country, I see people lending each other a helping hand. All across this country, all across this country, across the great divide, I see people giving their all, standing tall with pride. North and south, east and west, across this country, I can't help but be impressed. I see all across this country, everywhere I roam, no matter where I stay, I'm proud to say the USA is my home. Across this country, I'm proud to say the USA is my home.
Joe, I have a question.
Yes.
Was there something weird going on in America during this time period where it was necessary for these cartoons to get, like, real patriotic?
I don't know. I think it might just have been something... I mean, the late 80s were a weird time, I'd say, in America. So, maybe they were doing a thing like this. I mean, we weren't on the brink of any wars or anything, so... maybe it was just that time where it's just like, there's a presidential election going on. We should have some freedom. We should have all across this country. One thing I noticed, Kristen, The title of the song, All Across the Country, not uttered in the song, I don't think. It is All Across This Country. So I didn't really write a lot of notes for this song. I wrote, basically, the imagery, which, Kristen, we'll just kind of go back and forth here. We had, eagle.
Farms.
Rural America.
North, south, east, west, with accompanying images.
Football.
A baseball.
Space shuttle.
America.
There's a lot of that, again, where it's this song probably would have been better than Freedom, too. And I would have been fine if this was the song instead of Freedom in the last episode, and they played the song again this episode.
Right.
I would have been fine with that, because it's a perfectly okay Gem song. It's not anything to write home about, but I like it. It's okay.
For all of these vague and nondescript reasons, Jem is proud to say the USA is her home. I am proud that I was born rich and white in America.
I'm proud that I can have a shoulder pad suit.
I'm glad my dad was a genius and gave me a computer mom.
So that's the end of the episode here. This is one of those episodes where the song ends the episode, but we have for the first time in, since the middle of season 1, I think here, where the episode ran a little short, I guess, so we gotta have our fucking quick 20-second version of I'm Taking a Train here, where Lindsay's just like, and here's an encore of Gem and the Hologram's latest rock hit about taking a train?
No thanks.
So that was Rock and Roll Express. All things considered, Kristen, it was a much stronger episode than the Presidential Dilemma. It was, again, I kind of shit on the latter half of Season 2 here, but this is a perfectly fine episode. I wouldn't call it top 5 or anything, but it probably hits the top 10 of Season 2 so far.
The songs were boring, but I enjoy anything where the Misfits get to fuck around and infight a lot.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things. I know that we had said with Island of Deception, any episode where the Misfits and the Holograms have to be in kind of an enclosed space, and really the Misfits didn't do too much interacting with the Holograms, which is weird, but, I mean...
The Holograms were smart, and they were like, let's just lock ourselves in the back of the train so we don't have to deal with them.
But yeah, I mean, the Misfits had a strong showing in this episode, other than the weird thing with the horses, and it takes a lot being used in a context.
Joe, I have a question.
Yes.
So, Rio locks them in the observation car.
Yes.
He locks the door from the outside.
Yes.
Later, when they're trying to go to the front of the train, a door is locked. But it was locked from the inside. What the fuck is up with this train?
I'm curious as to why the Misfits just didn't try to go into a car that was behind the observation car, or in front of, I guess. Unless, I don't know the way they were looking at... When they get on top of the train, I don't know exactly what the outline of this train is, because we know that there's the front cab, and then there's the cab with the coal. Now, I don't know if you put the observation car directly behind the car with the coal, because when they get on top of the observation car, it looked like there's a good amount of train that was going into the tunnel before they had to jump off.
I hate this.
So, my question is, why didn't the Misfits try to leave from the other side of the observation car?
This is the worst. Also, because Jed is a bad bird person.
A dumbass bird brain.
She's a bird brain.
One thing I want to talk about this episode, Kristen, what's going on with Rio's character? Because we have here two distinct sides of Rio that we're seeing in this episode. One is extreme jackass, because he implicates Ashley for no reason, basically, he didn't need to. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go, Ashley, we don't have Ashley going, I learned my lesson. We have Jerrica saying Ashley learned her lesson for her. Yeah,
Ashley didn't need to be here. Nothing happened.
And then we have Extreme Action Man Rio, who, like I said, acts like he's a fucking member of G.I. Joe in this episode.
Do you think it's, for Season 2, them trying to make Rio into more of, a boys' cartoon manly hero character?
I mean, that's the thing. If they do that, I'm okay with Extreme Hero Rio. I think, other than him doing things that the G.I. Joes would do, I'm fine with it. Honestly, I think if there wasn't the him shitting on Ashley, this would be one of Rio's sort of strongest showings of the season, probably, because he didn't do anything... Well, I say he didn't do anything. Without the Ashley stuff, he wouldn't have done anything stupid and idiotic.
He would have restrung a guitar, and that's about it.
Yeah, he would have restrung a guitar and saved everybody's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guess what? I forgot to put the outro in my notes again, so we skipped over it by accident. Whoopsie daisy. Now's the point in the evening where I will list off all of the fun and contact things where you can find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at CWTAPod. You can follow me at Octopus, that is AWKTAPUS. You can follow Kristen at Funny Girl TM, like trademark. You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio, on the YouTube. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. You can also reach us, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us if you're taking a train, 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 a train, taking 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 a train. Next week, Kristen, we're taking a break.
Nope.
We have hit the 2/3 mark of Season 2 of Gem, and after over a year of weekly podcasts, we're just going to take a fucking week off.
I have Anime Boston.
Oh, I didn't even realize Anime Boston was next week. There we go. So that's a good reason to take a week off.
I think it'll be next week when this episode goes up, yes.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, not only that, but we have a nice surprise for all 5 of you out there in 2 weeks' time for what we're going to be doing after that. We're going to be trying something new, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to be exciting. For the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I'm Kristen.
And join us next time for something a little different.
Checks in the mail.